Hi everyone, welcome! Today we're going to make our very own homemade clay, and we're going to use it to make a sculpture inspired by one of the pieces in our museum collection. We're going to start off by making our clay, and to do that we're going to need these ingredients. 1 cup of flour, a half cup of salt, and half cup of water, with food coloring if you want to add color. We're going to start by putting in our flour and adding our salt. We're going to mix this together, and once it's all mixed in, then we're going to go ahead and pour the water in little by little, stirring occasionally. Now I'm going to take my water, and little by little I'm going to add some in. I don't want the clay to be too wet, and that's why we're going to do it gradually. Now that I've mixed up all of our ingredients, this is what our dough looks like. So I have some food coloring here, and I'd like to create different colors. I'm going to break up this dough in as many colors as I'd like. So I'm going to go with 3, and what you'll do is you'll make little balls. You're going to use your finger to make a hole in the middle of each of them, and that's where we're going to put a couple of drops of food coloring. So I'm going to start with the yellow, and I'm just going to put in, I'll start with 2 drops of each. Now something you want to be careful about is when you mix these up, you're going to have to use your fingers and knead the dough. You want to wash your hands between the colors so you don't contaminate your colors. Now that we've mixed in all of our food colorings, we can see we have some pink, red, some blue, and yellow clay. And from this, we're going to start working on our project today, which is inspired by a piece that was made by Louis Slobodkin. Louis Slobodkin was an American sculptor and illustrator of children's books. This is a work that we have in our collection called God's Head. Looking closely at this piece, we can see a face carved out of the stone and pick out some textures too. For today's project, we're going to be sculpting faces out of our clay. You can use some tools or things around the house like a fork or some toothpicks to create textures. One of the really great things about clay is that if you don't like what you've made, you could always start over and make new sculptures. But the other thing that's wonderful is that if you do like the face that you've made, there's a way to cook it so that it hardens. What you'll have to do for this is ask for help from an adult, and you'll want them to preheat the oven at 200 degrees. Depending on how big your piece is, it can take between 45 minutes to an hour for these pieces to harden. And when they do, you'll be able to keep them. If you want to keep playing, then simply put your Play-Doh in a plastic baggie and you can keep it in the fridge for up to 4 weeks. We can't wait to see what you create.